There we go. Hypergamy, the misconceptions. So I want to I'm going to rattle off a few of these right now because I think a lot of people kind of need a remedial lesson in hypergamy. Once again, the problem that I have right now, there's really two problems. Okay, first of all, is like these guys who are like sort of, for lack of a better term, I'm just going to say they're black pill. Although I think they get confused by other people as being sort of quote unquote red pill. This is what those red pill guys say. No, we don't. The red pill tends to get strawmanned, I guess, into being something that's really not. Because it fits an implicit bias. It fits an explicit bias, really. So you've got guys in who are just simply anti-red pill no matter what, and they will try to disprove it with like Evo Psych or whatever else. Or all these guys just think that anything that's if they stub their toe, it must have been hypergamy, right? If they run out of gas on a freeway, it's hypergamy, right? No, that's not, and you're being ridiculous about that. But that's one aspect of it. The other thing is is being so litigious about hypergamy, only meaning that it has to do with marriage. And that goes back to making marriage the litmus test and the benchmark for everything. And you'll see that this is the thing that gets me. And I'm not anti-marriage. I've been married for 28 years. Let's clear the air here before I say anything else. All right. I'm not anti-marriage. I'm just anti the way we do it now. So with that said, the thing is whenever we're doing studies about like whether it's mate switching hypothesis, you have to have a fucking mate to switch in the first place, ergo married or at least in a relationship. Got it? That's the starting point. That's the litmus test. That is not the metric for a sexual strategy. It only is if you subscribe to this idea that you're dating with intent and you're going to save the fucking Western culture. That is no way to look at the evolution of intersexual dynamics. It's no way to look at the evolution of mating strategies or sexual strategies, innate or socially learned. Whatever. It's no way to really look at those things. Why are, like, for instance, when we talk about assortative mating, it always ends with one thing. The only goal is to get married. That's all it is. Or it end up in a monogamous pairing. That's all it's about. Well, men and women who are alike, they tend to find each other. No, it could be that people who found each other for completely different fucking criteria become more alike once they get into that state. That's why I say you're only focusing on the beta buck side of hypergamy. And that's because that sounds good. That's what is flattering to female nature. As I've said before on this show, when you ask women what they're looking for in a guy, it's always what they're attracted to, what long-term qualities in that guy, what guy best fits my long-term security goals. He's got to be funny, provisioning, protection, and parental investment. He's got to want kids. He's got to be good with his mom. He's got to come from a good family. He's got to be educated. He has to be more intelligent than me. He has to have gone to a good school. He has to make this amount of money. He has to have, he has to like puppy dogs, rainbows, and Disneyland, right? He has to have all of these things. And so they will focus on those because those sound right. That sounds good. They're not looking, I need a guy with fucking 23-inch arms and he's got to have a fucking 10-inch. She's not going to say that because those are aspects of the alpha fucks side of hypergamy, which is just as equally important as the beta buck side. But if we ask guys who are in the ivory tower and the fucking gatekeepers of evolutionary psychology, they're only going to focus on the more flattering aspects of hypergamy, and that is the beta buck side. So what you get is guys like Jordan Peterson, you get Alex from Date Psych, you get Dr. David Buss, prime example of this. Look at his shit. The dude rarely, if ever, confronts the alpha fuck side of things, because if he does, he's losing readers, he's losing clicks, he's losing clout, he's losing eyes on the screen. It's not flattering to female nature to be called out for the fact that they like guys who are 6 feet tall, that have fucking V taper, that have a 6-pack abs, that have like bowling ball shoulders, right? That kind of shit. They don't talk about that even though it is just as, and again, I don't think it's shallow or superficial or anything to say that women are attracted and aroused by guys who are hot fucking guys. That's how you get Luigi. And they're shameless about it. Yeah, I'd fuck him. I don't care if I don't care if he's a killer. They want Richard fucking Ramirez at a teenage fan club for crying out loud. All right, you got the Boston Marathon bomber guy still sitting in jail, right? They want to fuck that. They want conjugal visits with those guys. Oh, we're not going to study that. Let's study what women really want, how they need a guy who's a provider and makes them laugh. That's one side of hypergamy, yes, which has been very thoroughly research. Can we say maybe they want a guy with a chiseled jawline and separation as pecs or something? Can we no. How about ovulatory shift? Can we maybe go back and look at that a little bit more? No, because they don't want to find results that might be unflattering to female nature. What's flattering to female nature? The beta buck side of hypergamy. What's unflattering? Wanting to fuck Luigi. That's unflattering. Why do women always want to fuck criminals? Forget about it. We'll move on. Then they don't want to do that. So what do? They've got to find some way to make hypergamy, at least in the sense that the red pill describes it or details it or defines it. They have to make it ridiculous. So they have to blow it out of proportion. They have to straw man it. They have to make it some big deal, right? So I attempted to address a lot of those misconceptions in a post that I wrote. I'll put it up. Maybe Sam Botta can put it up there. It's called Hypergamy: The Misconceptions. I'm just going to throw a couple of these out here. Hypergamy is guys think that hypergamy is a straitjacket. This is the number one misconception that I think that a lot of red pill black pill doomer guys, MGTOW guys maybe, really think hypergamy is about. They think that it's unchanging. They think that chick is always going to be one way her entire life. And as I was showing you Coco Butte last week, clearly that shit changes, and it changes pretty rapidly. So the chick who is demanding that she doesn't go on coffee dates and she doesn't need to go for walks because she's not a dog, and she wants to have, she doesn't want you to get her drunk. She wants you to take her to a nice sushi dinner and blah, 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 blah. 2 years later, my eggs are drying up, right? The whole thing about hypergamy between those two women, Coco of 2022 and Coco of 2024, shit's changed, man. Hypergamy is not what it was for Coco in 2022, what it is today in 2024, or at least the way that she can act upon it anyways. So hypergamy is not a straitjacket. And that's the problem most guys get into, is they think it's this static, monolithic, shibboleth. That's never there's your vocabulary word. That's this unchanging, horrible thing. Oh, all women are going to do this because they're always going to be looking for a bigger and better guy. Yeah, unless you're the bigger and better guy. Unless you're the guy who fucking knocks it out of the park every fucking time. You do good. You have a good job. You make a good chunk of change. You don't owe her this. Maybe it's, I'm not saying what you owe her a better life. But if you are concerned with body count, you're concerned with hypergamy, you're concerned with, there's always going to be a guy who's going to come along and take her away from you, Rolo, then be the dude that takes away chicks from other dudes. Be that guy. Figure out how you can do that within the context of where you're at. I don't see why is this even fucking rocket science? But the problem is that people think that hypergamy is a straitjacket. They think that it's always going to be one size fits all, and it's always going to be all consuming and all containing. And it's not, because the same chick that rejected you in high school, or the same chick that rejected you in college, suddenly you're a great catch when you're 32. And you know what? The same hypergamy that she rejected you by in 23 is the same hypergamy by which she's accepting you at 33.
Forrest Gump.
Yes, Forrest. Yeah, maybe a bad example, but the illustration's accurate. Yeah,
age timing.
Yeah, age and timing. Hypergamy is only defined as marrying upward. No, it's not. It's also fucking upward. So if we're going to talk about marriage is only about marriage, or hypergamy is only about marriage, You ask anybody at Turning Point USA, they'll tell you that the same fucking thing. Well, no, it's not. It's about also being the guy that she wants to fuck, the better sexual experience, the better being the guy that she wants to have, what's a sexy son. So she wants to have sexy sons with, being that guy. I don't see why this is like, you want an all-encompassing holistic approach to the red pill. Be that guy. Be the guy who is jacked. Be the guy who is, I don't care. Maybe you're 5'8". Okay, fine. Great. You're working from a deficit. Okay. Well, it's just how can I work back? These are the cards I've been dealt. How do I fucking become better? The other, I love this one. Some women are more hypergamous than others. No, they're all hypergamous. All of them. It is the operating system. It's not like, oh, like she's, or I love it. Like, I love it when guys like turn hypergamy into a verb. She's hypergamying me, man. Yes, she's out there hypergamying me. No, dude, it's a fucking subroutine that is running in the background all the fucking time. That's what it is. It's always going. And you know what? Your grandmother is just as fucking hypergamous as your kid's sister. Okay, so don't go and thinking that there's different levels of hypergamy. No, now granted, can that hypergamy be expressed in certain cultures and certain nationalities and certain social conditions? Yeah, of course, right. Prior to the sexual revolution, prior to hormonal birth control and the pill, was under much different circumstances because women were more dependent on men. So hypergamy was still there. Women still wanted to get with the hottest guy they could fuck, and they still wanted to get with the best guy who could give them long-term security, but they were just bound by a set of societal rules that because there was no hormonal birth control, there's still always the threat of pregnancy, right? So they were still dependent more or less on men and a quote unquote patriarchy at that time. Take those, remove the risk of pregnancy and put the sexual revolution in there. And now you have a different set of conditions. Hypergamy is still there, but it's been unleashed. It's been there's the limitations that were on it before are gone. Now we can see in a post-sexual revolution Western society what women's nature really is about. So if we remove this, let's see what happens. We're still, like, people have described the sexual revolution as a big experiment. The experiment's still going in 2024. Might have started in 1965, but it's still going in 2024. So women are not more or less hypergamous. It's just how they express that hypergamy. Okay. So it's not like levels of like, oh, I'm feeling more hypergamous today than I was. By the way, that's what those guys on what is hyper. That's what they want you to think. Like the hypergamy. Stage 1 hypergamy. You got to up your hypergamy, girl. Then you'll get to these better hot dudes. You get to the millionaires. Both men and women are hypergamous. False. This is a false equivalency. This is the want to have some sort of equalist yin-yang balance. Only women are hypergamous. Men are not hypergamous. Now, I have another post or another essay. It's called False Equivalencies, where I get into this. The reason for this is because of the nature of human reproduction, women have an attraction floor. Men do not. No one's ugly after 2 a.m. Men will go and will fuck women that are below them in sexual market value if the opportunity arrives. Men are opportunistic breeders, put it that way. Women, on the other hand, because they bear the responsibility and the investment costs of pregnancy, have an attraction floor. That attraction floor leads to the mating strategy that is hypergamy. So whenever you hear like somebody say, well, men want to get with the hottest girl that they can get with. Well, yeah, we all make comparisons, but only women are hypergamous. So if I see 2 apples in front of me and one of them has a worm in it and it's like kind of old and gushy and one's juicy and red, I'm going to eat this one. We can make a pattern recognition. We can make those choices. That's a comparison. Hypergamy is different because women have an investment cost in reproduction. So only women are hypergamous. was it? I think it was Tom Likas who said, like for guys, sex is like, taking a piss.
Yeah.
if you're driving on the road, like guys would love to take a piss at fucking the MGM or the Palms or whatever, and a gold hardware and faucets and a golden toilet and everything else. They would love to. Men would not turn that down. But when you got to take a piss on the side of the road, a dirty fucking gas station bathroom is just as good, serves just as well as the.
You do what you got to do.
Yes, that's why only women are hypergamy. Okay, women have an attraction floor, men do not. That's the easiest way I can put that. Hypergamy is overemphasized in the manosphere. Yes and no. I think that it is just misunderstood by a lot of people, or people will take hypergamy and they will turn it into, like, for instance, like if I used as an example, what is hypergamy.com for seeking arrangements or whatever, if I use that as my standard and say, this is what hypergamy is about, you'd be fucking lost. And I'll tell you the other thing is, if you're you're a black pill doomer guy and you're like hopeless and you think hypergamy is a straitjacket and you saw that video or you saw that site, you would be like, I can't believe they're like this. Oh, it's all, you'd probably put a gun to your head. Probably would. But that's not what it's about. It's not I don't think it's overemphasized in the manosphere. I think it's just simply misunderstood, and it's straw man by people, by outside agents who don't have your best interests in mind. Hypergamy only applies to men with the best social provisioning status. No, it also applies to the guys who are the hot guy in the foam cannon party in Cancun on spring break. The most ass I have ever gotten in my life, Kyle, is when I was broke as fuck. What I had a beat up pickup truck with no fucking tailgate. I had a net on the tailgate.
I know exactly.
I had a Randall half stack and I had 2 guitars to my name. Those were my liquid assets. More fucking pussy than I ever didn't know what to do with. Right. I lived in North Hollywood. I had a single studio apartment, and my dining room table was on the big ass spools. Like, like the cables that they run around on a highway spool and shit like that. That was like, eat Taco Bell on that, right? Mini fridge, a young guy trying to make it on my own, do my own thing, and try to live in Hollywood, the Hollywood dream. That was a Hollywood dream, all right. I'm glad I'm not doing it now. Women would come over and fuck it. I remember girls would like try to fuck me in the mornings before work. Seriously. What? I'm just leaving. Come on, I got to go to work at 8. What?
You had appointments?
Yes. Yeah. I didn't, we didn't have to worry whether, like, the carpet and the drapes and everything was from Bed Bath and Beyond, or pillows and fluff and ruffs and shit. Nobody cared. None of them cared. Trust me about that. But no, it's not just about, like, this is, I think this is not something that necessarily goes against what, like, Mike Sartain always talks about when he says, like, women fuck you because of your social status. And I would say prestige, but I think that has something to do with it. But I think it also is, I think it's a combination. I think it's a confluence of your looks, your prestige, your status. I don't necessarily think it's money so much. Like, if you're just talking about sex, okay? Maybe if it's, I want to get with you and marry you, or I want to have, like, guys who are fixated on fucking marriage, then it's always about, well, you got to have money too. And if that's your fucking goal. But if you're living as a 22-year-old guy in fucking Hollywood with a spool for your dining room table, I'm not thinking about marriage. But yeah, it's not, I don't think it's so much about, like, the ability to provision in that sense. I think it's by the context of what that woman is looking for. And by the way, like, a lot of, I've knocked it out with women who are older than me. I knocked it out with women who are younger than me, and they all wanted to get with me because it was the experience. It was I played a character that they wanted to experience. Really, it's the only way I can explain it. Is I was somebody that they wanted to have that experience with. They didn't want to marry me. God, are you kidding me? They didn't want to have a shit, and half of them were cheating on their boyfriends. It's men who are responsible for hypergamy. No. Oh, I love this one. Hypergamy means only 20% of men will ever get laid. Beta males get laid all the time. They just don't get laid on their own terms. Again, that goes to the 24.5% rule. Hypergamy requires trust on the part of women. Nope. It requires urgency on the part of women. It requires, anxiety. Like the best sex you'll ever have is the urgent, like hot monkey sex, dude. I love it. I have to be comfortable with you. No, you have to be comfortable with guys who you're not certain you want to fuck. The guys you want to fuck, like those are the guys you make rules for. Yeah, you have to be comfortable with them because you're not really. Which I'm not certain. You're not sure. Yeah, you're not sure because you're not sure you want to fuck this guy. If you were sure, you'd be fucking this guy. Men should stay ignorant of hypergamy for their own good. No. If anything, you need to leverage it. Hypergamy gives women an out for bad and evil treatment of men. This is the my genes made me do it instead of the devil made me do it. Again, hypergamy is just a subroutine. It's just part of your evolved mental firm or women's evolved mental firmware. It's not good or evil. It's just the application of it. It's like fire, right? I always say the red pill is like fire. I can use fire to heat my home and cook my food, or I can use it to set Kyle on fire and set myself on fire if I'm careless enough about it, right? I could set the whole city on fire. It's how it's used. So again, accept it for what it is. Work within the confines of it. Leverage it to your fucking best advantage. That's the best thing I can tell you guys.